Louise, welcome back to On the Couch.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. The last time we had a chat, it was fascinating. So today we're going to be talking about lots of different things, body language again. So Louise, you mentioned laughter. How does laughter impact that sort of moment when you're having the discussion?
Laughter is a fabulous opportunity to get to somebody's unconscious. So as they laugh, they're using different areas of the brain, and what you can do is grab that opportunity and bring it back to where you want to be. So for instance, if the laughter was about something they did on the weekend in the snow and the cold snap and how they fell over in the snow, we can be laughing and then say, you know, those cold snaps and changes are why we're here today. In case something goes wrong and the house needs to be sold, I'm here for you. And it's a hypnotic technique to get somebody's attention, and they seem to relate the two incidents. So laughter is a brain scrambler. You can use that scrambler to actually get attention onto the topic you're talking about.
Okay. We talked about neutral position, sitting down.
Yes.
Now, a lot of the times when we're in a lounge room, we're sitting on a dining room table or we're sitting on the couch. Can you show me what a neutral position sitting down looks like?
Yes. So neutral position sitting down, the legs need a visual line, the body's up straight, the head is on, and the hands, two things. They're asymmetric and off your genital area. So most people go immediately to here and then begin to talk, and that's hugely distracting. It takes a lot of energy of the listener to not look. So actually the hands are off there and asymmetric. So it doesn't matter where they are as long as they're asymmetric. And you can see the difference. Symmetry seems to say, you know, something serious, whereas asymmetry just loosens it up.
Right. So is there a body stance men and women take without even realising it? Is there a stance that men take versus what women take unconsciously all the time?
Very often women will weaken themselves in some way. So they'll take their energy into their upper body, and people will lean on here and even hold themselves up on the arms of the chair. You know, it's as though you're crippled in the lower body. And when we stand, women tend to cross legs, cross arms, and that's terribly weak. Men, on the other hand, I mean, not all men, but often men under crisis will put their legs very wide apart. And that is actually an indicator, a psychological indicator, about the size of the male genitalia and who you're dealing with.
So when men sit on a chair, I have this in boardroom meetings quite often, they sit in a chair, they cross their legs, or they have their legs open and they lean back on the chair. That's quite a dominating stance.
Massively, yeah. And then rock.
And then exactly right, they rock and quite often break the chair they're on.
I don't think there's a woman out there who hasn't had that. I mean, when I first came out of theatre and came into business, before I did, you know, my PhD, this is one of the indicators that just is the reason why I got into the work. It just fascinated me that people could do that and think that, be completely unconscious about it and think that it was suitable behaviour. You know, it's odd.
And what do women do around a board table unconsciously they should be aware of? So if men do the whole sit the chair, rock back.
You know, women's voices actually only have the capacity to be a fifth as loud as a man's. And they think that goes back to, Tarzan. So what women do to be heard is they tend to lean forward and come forward and start to do this, which strangles the throat, and get this kind of tone and think that that is power. That's not power, that's aggression. And so, and people come across and point. What we need to do is keep back into our power zone, which is the lower body.
How does stress impact our body language and our tone?
Yep. Well, it blocks in several places. It blocks the air. So for some people it blocks at the diaphragm, and then we break like that. That's very Tony Abbott. Or we can actually jam the neck, which is very Pauline Hanson, or we can throw the head, which is Julia Gillard, or we can seal the mouth, which is very Kevin Rudd. We do those things, but also on the inside of the throat. It affects the tone, and so at the worst case, what can happen is the whole throat can close, and people find they can't initiate sound, so they go, and they can't speak. Second worst case scenario, part of the throat closes, and we get that kind of sound. That is, it's the voice of drowning, and it's a dead giveaway that we're drowning. What a lot of women are doing as well is that they just withdraw the air and then do what's called vocal fry.
which is where we go very deep like that, and the vocal folds just kind of wobble. The Kardashians do it, and they've actually shown that it's very unappealing to people.
And they're just really bad mannerisms that we do under stress. And every single one of them is undoable if you're aware of it, completely undoable.